Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tristram Gaming. We are getting ready to do our third tutorial on the amazing features and this amazing program called TouchPortal. Now, tonight we actually have a special request button that has come to us from a good friend of ours and benefactor of our stream, the great Norkdorf. And with this, he should be able to alleviate most of his problems. Now, this button is a great little button. I will first demonstrate what we are doing, and then we will get into showing you how it is done. By the way, we are doing this live, so if I do happen to say anything random, it's because I'm responding to chat. Luca, you have a great night, and you get plenty of sleep. But as you see here, I have my simple Android device. From there, I will tap over to my test button, and as you see, my camera moved itself. Now, sadly, I only set this up to go one way, but we will be modifying that within the video as well to give it a little extra oomph. So, first things first, you need to head over to OBS, Open Broadcast Software website, and I will put the link for this site right here in the description. You will choose whether you have the Windows 32, Windows 64, Linux 64, and so forth and so forth. Okay, my system here happens to be a 64-bit system, so I would download and install that. Well, there's not much to install, really. So once you have that downloaded, we're actually going to move this on over. And here, you will find the file that you downloaded. I put it on my desktop just so that way we would have ease of use. Inside of that, you will find a data folder and an OBS plugins folder. Well, what you are attempting to do is, I will bring this over, and I will make this full screen so that way you have an easier time seeing it, is we will be going to our C drive, or whatever drive you have everything installed on. We'll be going to Program Files. We will be finding our OBS Studio, and in here you will find Data, and you will find OBS Plugins. Now, what we are going to be doing is taking the data folder, we'll be opening that up, we'll go into OBS Plugins, and you will see Move Transition. So we will move this off screen just temporarily. So then we will go to Data, inside of our OBS folder, OBS Plugins, and as you see, we have the Move Transition. What you are going to do from that downloaded file is copy the whole folder of Move Transitions into the OBS Plugins. Now, once you have completed that, it'll only take a few seconds. It will ask for permissions to do so. So make sure that you give it a few permissions and that you can get it going. We will then go back to our original OBS folder, and then at the second one, which is OBS Plugins, you'll go there, you'll find your system, minus 64-bit, and then in the small folder here, you will see that there's a second folder called OBS Plugins. You will go into that, into the 64-bit, and then you will copy these two files into your OBS folder. You will see that we have the file, we have the Move Transition and Move Transition. So both files are there currently. Now, we are actually doing this with someone live on stream. This person's name I will not divulge, but I am going to ask, have you been able to follow along so far, my friend? Okay, they said yes. So, we're going to go ahead and close this folder after we've copied out of it. Then we will close our OBS folder. And just like that, we can wash our hands of this little folder on the desktop. But we're going to keep it around because having a backup is always good should you ever have to uninstall OBS for any reasons or you have issues with the plugins. Then what you will do is you will go over here to OBS. Now, I am sorry that it is capturing my display, but it must be done. We will actually go ahead and go down here to we are in our gaming. We will go down here to our scene 2, which is a fresh scene. There is absolutely nothing here. In fact, there's not even video here for our particular setup. So we will go ahead and we'll add a talking cam, just so that way you guys know who's talking to you. That, and I always thought it was impolite not to see the person you're talking to. So, on your scene, you will right click. It can be any scene you want, doesn't matter. You will go up to filters, and as you see, it's got the display, because that's the only thing in the scene. You will click on the little plus sign, and you should now see move value, move source, and move transition override. There will be 3 new options there for you. The one we want is move source. We can name it whatever we want. We'll name this one top left. Okay. So as you see, all we have here is our basic camera. We want to, again, another neat feature of this, it can also resize your camera for you. So say we want to do that right there, and then snap that to the top. We will hit, make sure your source is set proper. So mine is talking cam, it's the only source in here. But you have to make sure that your source is your camera. Then you hit get transform. Now what that just did is it took the original scale, of the video source. And my friend, I will be able to assist with that here in a moment. Try recopying the files just to make sure. It should be one folder into the data side of it, and it should be the 2 files into the second folder, which is the plugins. If it still doesn't work, I will get with you after the video. So what this did was it resized my source, and then it moved it up. It recorded all of that information just by tapping on get information. So what we can do is we can actually test this. We'll come over here, we'll make the video source full screen. Yes, I know, scary thought. But we can go over here, we can tap start. Now, I have no clue where it just went. That's an interesting concept. So let's try this again. This time from there, then we will hit start. And it appears to be zooming it all the way out. Now, not only is it zooming it all the way out, it's actually zooming it off screen. So we apparently messed up somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we are going to delete this. We're going to bring Talking Cam back up, go full screen with it, bring it back down to this size right here, make a new filter. We're going to try that again. Because for some reason, it decided it wanted to move it way off into the northern seaboard, and that just didn't seem right. So we're going to go, and we're going to leave it as move source, and we're going to just try that right there. Get transform. We'll bring that back down, and voila, we hit start, and it brings us right back here. Now let's say that you don't want it to do that. You want it to go here, then you want it to resize like that. Get transform, and do that. I bring it back down there, and then we can hit start, which it resizes and puts it right where we want it. So that, my friends, is how you set this up. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, do I really have to go into my filters, select this, scroll down, and hit start every time that I want to move the camera? Well, the short answer is no. In fact, the only answer to that question is no. So we'll go ahead and we'll close this. We'll bring this back down. We'll do this. We'll go up to start, then we'll go to settings, and then we'll go over here to hotkeys. Now this is hotkeys for every single thing to do with OBS. Now, we are currently working in scene 2. And here is scene 2. We can turn around and we have move source. That is what we left the name of this to be. So, we can come over here and we will set a weird command that we would never use. We'll do Control-Shift-8 and we'll hit apply. Okay. Now, if I hit Control-Shift-8 on my keyboard, it works. Now, the second question, do I always have to press the buttons to make it do that? Again, the answer is no. Now, for this, we will be going and moving this out of the way. And we will actually be going to yet a newer screen. One that I just created just for making these videos. So let's go on over to my tutorials page. Here on the tutorials page, you will see the amazing, and I mean amazing, TouchPortal. I even made a special page in this just so that way we can test and create buttons. Well, this button here is set up for the gaming screen. What we need to do is we need to set up a button that does our command for us and does it quite easily. Now, we can make a very simple button, which is just going to be coming here to input, virtual key press. You will press your Control, your Shift, and your 8, and as you see, it has recorded your Control, Shift, and 8. You hit Add, then you set your name. For this, Move Cam is what we will set it as. And for these buttons to work, you must set an icon. Now, we're just going to, for tutorial purposes, use one of the generic icons that come with TouchPortal. Now, since we are moving something, these three dots being on top of each other seem to look like they're going to be pretty good for this. So we go ahead, we hit add. We now have an icon, we now have a title. In fact, I like to, for these purposes, remove transparent background just so that way I have a little more visibility for all of this. Then we will hit save, and now you see Move Cam is set up. So let's transition back over to scene 2, where we have this. This is our testing scene. We'll come over here, and we will move that down there in that corner. Now, let me refresh the page for my OBS. Well, not OBS, but my TouchPortal. As you see, just my phone. Let me come over here and make sure that I have this set proper. And voila. Now, again, this is a one-way adventure. Say you didn't want this to be here all the time and have to manually mess with your camera. So you got to sit there and do this number, bring it back down to the size you want, stuff like that. That in and of itself can be a royal pain. So, having your camera where you want it right now, you would go back. We will go back to this right here. We will go back on over to gaming, just because that is just a better scene for all of this, to where you can see all of this. Okay. And we'll click on scene 2 again. We will go to filters, which I'm not even sure if, well, yeah, I guess it does work this way. We will go and add. We will do a secondary move source, which we will name move source 2, because why not? We will change this to move here, to resize, and then to move back to right there. We will then get our transform. Now with this one, if we go here, that should bring us right back. Now, this one here, that one will bring us back down. So now that we've got that set up, we'll go over to our settings. We'll set a hotkey. We'll move source, Control Shift 7. We will hit apply. So now if I Control Shift 8, it brings the scene big. Then if I press 7, it brings it right down there, right where we want it. So we will pop back over to our tutorials side of things. Right back into our TouchPortal. Now our TouchPortal is only set up that when it is pressed, that it moves our cam up inside of that one scene. So what do? We go over here, we access our button. Now, me personally, I can delete this because, well, I know a few of the buttons here. Now, if I they did just update this, so again, some things have been moved on. So I believe it's under utility. Oh no, it might be under when button state changes. No, that's definitely not it. There we go. Oh no, they completely changed this around. Set custom state. Wow. Change button, no. Again, folks, I do apologize, but they did change a few things on me. They renamed a few things too. So we'll go over here to the on press. And we will look for, see, they didn't have if file before. This is a new feature. This is really cool. So we'll delete that. And it is actually if state. So if this button state is off, we want to change button state to on. Then we will go else, change button state off. So what this just did was, if the button is off, you press it and it'll turn the button on. Or else, you press the button, it'll turn it off. Now on event, what we will do is, I believe again that it is under logic, which for some reason, when button state changes to off, well, to on, then we gotta close this right here. Go to visuals, change button visual, and what we'll do is we'll change icon just so that way we have a differential to show us with. We will use the calculator button. We'll hit add. Then we will go over here to input, and you want to click on virtual press. Again, your main active one is going to be Shift Control 8 for this particular example. Again, you can set it to anything that you wish. Then, as you see all of that, we actually clicked on the wrong one. I do apologize. We will go down here. When button state changes to off, close that temporarily. Go to visuals, change button visuals, change icon to, and again, we will choose a different icon because it's going back and down and resizing. You'll go ahead and just choose this icon. Again, the icons don't really matter. What matters is that you know what the button is doing. You'll go back up here to input, and you will virtual key press again, Control Shift 7 in this case. We will add it, and the button is done. We will go ahead and hit save. Now, we will go over here to scene 2, which again is our testing scene. And we will tap it. Oh, it's not working because, a little warning here, folks. If you are doing a button like this, you cannot have, there we go, you cannot have OBS selected for these hotkeys, at least for this particular set of hotkeys. So, as you see, it just made us a larger button, or a larger cam. Press the button, it brings us right back down. And that, folks, is how you can move your camera around, resize it to any size that you wish, and do it all with the press of a button. Yes, I am enjoying myself. Tristram go small, Tristram go big, Tristram go small, Tristram go big. Tristram go small. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked this tutorial and would like to see more, please leave comments and suggestions. Again, to everything we had to download, I will be leaving links to in the description.